Hello, everybody, and welcome to Twillow Talk. We have amazing guests today. This is why we're a few minutes late, because we have a surprise guest.
Yay!
Oh, wow.
So we are super excited to have two awesome guests for you today. We have Gerald from Tarotstache, and we have Jeff Pulver.
Hello.
From jeffpulver.com.
Correct? Yes, right.
Yes. So we are super excited to have you both here for our first show of 2024. And I want to say hello to a few people. So we've got Betsy in the audience. Hey, Betsy. And Fogo Pogo. Hello, Kaylee. How you doing? Yeah, we're calling for snow and freezing rain. We are indeed. Yes, we have a bonus.
I know.
Jeff, you're a bonus.
I'm a bonus. Okay.
It's Jeff. I mean,
It's
come
Jeff.
on, everybody.
It's Jeff. Hello, Amanda. We're going to assume that the O is meant to be there. And hey, Rossi, how are you? It's good to see you again. And we have Sharon Foster. Hello, hello. We have Martha Bean. Am I missing anybody here? I don't think so. So we are having our first Twillow Talk of 2024. So we've got, as usual, we do an impromptu discussion around things. And so, we have an impromptu guest for the same reason. So actually, we were all just I'm just going to come clean. We were all just having an awesome party behind stage, the pre-show party. And we just asked Jeff to stay. And he graciously enough stayed with us.
Thank you.
So
I have my tiny hand up.
I love that.
Oh, yes, Gerald.
Who are the two of you?
Oh, well, I'm Tanis and I do stuff. I'm Tanis Coughlin for the Twillow Lifestyle Community, Twillow Lifestyle Academy. And I do energy healing and Celtic Shamanic High Priestess and Galactic Ambassador and, stuff. I do stuff and crystals, which is why I have a crystal crown on today.
Wow.
And then Jen, who are you?
I do stuff too.
We do similar stuff. She does more though. Oh, she does more.
So I'm a registered psychotherapist, a Canadian certified counselor, intuitive life coach. I'm a dog mama, and you probably hear them all out there just coming in. So they're clunk, 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 clunk.
They're big
they were out there going rah, 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 rah. So they had to come in. And I do energy stuff and all kinds of fun stuff.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And Gerald, how about telling us a little bit about you?
I'm Tarotstache. I do things.
He does some different stuff.
I do some different stuff. I am a collector of tarot cards. I am a retired person from libraries where I did training and development for most of my career. And I also I am an artist. I have a bachelor's in fine arts. I am a channeler, a reader, a Akashic Records guy. I'm doing lots of things. I'm learning many, many things. So this is an exciting time.
He even does Aqualead, guys, just saying.
Ooh.
I was actually going to say retired from libraries, only certain libraries.
Just the physical ones.
Not other libraries.
I will give you that.
You can't retire from that one, sorry.
No.
I'm called to duty.
Wouldn't want to. I'm busy rearranging things and making it work for me. Oh, I'm starting to get downloads. I'll stop.
Well, if there are downloads that you'd like to share, you're welcome to.
I think I will during the show.
Perfect. And Jeff, how about telling us about you?
Collectively, I do stuff.
We all do stuff.
That's right.
Jeff does big stuff, though. He's got some big stuff going on.
At times, yes. We kind of try to help make the world better, different, help bring us into different ages of time and space. And I would like to believe I help people find the good in themselves and to do good things and to know with confidence that they can be their best you. They just need to believe in themselves and bring out and do things to help people find that light within. Sometimes when it's darkened, and those who have that light, just to help it shine brighter and be felt galactically, because together we can make so much magic. Individually, we're powerful. Together, it's unstoppable.
Together,
Yeah,
it's
Yeah.
Oh,
Whoa.
we have fans now too.
Whoa! Wow! Check that out.
I wanted to be able to grab
These are original. Ooh, I don't know how to show it here. These are original art pieces
Ooh, check that out.
by one of our
I'm
audience.
so left out. I have to go with a purple cloth or something.
Jen and I have original art pieces by one of
That's
our
beautiful.
audience members, Kaylee Fogo Pogo.
Ah,
nice.
wow.
Mm-hmm.
And they actually depict our stuff.
That's
Yeah, they
gorgeous.
do. This is so creative.
They are,
Wow.
absolutely.
That's gorgeous.
So actually yours depicts some of your stuff too, Gerald, because yours is cards.
Yes, it's tarot cards.
Beautiful.
Wow.
we're just gonna sit like this.
Fair enough.
This is for you. Can I do this? I can look through the.
Oh, there you go.
The little under part.
That's gorgeous. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Got a few
pretty
people to say
awesome.
hi to. So we've got Sheila Edwards. Hello. Thank you for joining us.
Hello.
Today is our first show for the year, so we're going a little bit, fun for today.
When you're having fun, magic will just show itself. And fun is one of those things you can never force. But when you're in the flow of being you, it is magical. And that's I think one lesson for 2024 for people is for people to understand that when they're in their moment, when they're in their now, they're in their power.
Mm-hmm.
And that so 23 is over, so let go, be present, look ahead. But the more you could stay where you are, your time will stop, magic will present itself, and your dreams will start to show.
Absolutely. Yeah. Present moment.
Yeah,
That's where the peace
power.
is as
Yes.
well. So hello from Australia. Hi,
Hello, Australia.
Thanks
Good day.
for joining us. And we've got Book Bewitched and Stacey Rising. We've got all our best chatters on, you guys.
Yay.
Great to see you all. Thank you for joining us. And so Jeff's preview kind of brings us to our next little segment that we thought we would do, which is a little bit of a preview for 2024. Do you have the transits, Jen? Are you looking at the full year, or are you just looking the next week?
I was just looking at the next week. So in human design, it's really interesting. It actually, the new year hasn't happened yet in human design. It'll happen at the end of the month. So we're still at the end of last year as far as human design goes. But currently we are in the gate 54. We switched into this one on the 5th, and we'll be here until the 11th. So here's the card for it, if we want to do that from our deck casual with Gerald.
They're so beautiful.
It's the gate 54. So in the I Ching, we're looking at the Marrying Maiden. This is about ambition. From a Gene Keys perspective, we're looking at the shadow of greed moving into the gift of aspiration into the siddhi of ascension. So what does that even mean? Really, it's about the pressure of ambition, right? And from a victim mode that we can get into, it's this divine lack of drive, right? So we can go from unambitious all the way through to the reactive side, which is the greedy side of things, right? So the shadow of greed is about this idea it's never enough, right? And always trying to look outside of ourselves for something to fill that, right? And this is where, if we can recognize that we are in this constant place of search, and that nothing outside of ourselves is ever going to fill that for us, right? We can move into the gift of aspiration, which is where we look for that care and that completion, that safety and security, that stability, all of those things from within, right? And if we're able to really work with that energy and begin to understand our own inner divinity, right, we can connect with our Siddhi, that ascended kind of aspect of this, which is really understanding that, you know, it's all, Richard talks about it, Richard Rudd, who does the Gene Keys, talks about it in the sense of like material and spiritual liquidity. It's really about the alchemy of change and our ability to flow with that and to recognize that it's always all there and we're always connected to it. So we're never in that place of lack. But the moment that we think we don't have, we're looking for something outside of ourselves. And in that space, we're never going to find what we're looking for because we can't find it outside of ourselves, right? So we're going to be in that energy until Thursday, and then we're going to be switching into another energy, moving into Thursday into the mid next week. So I can talk to you guys about the changeover maybe at the end of the show, and so you know what's coming, and we can go from there.
Awesome. Gerald, would you like to talk about the future a little bit? See what's going on?
Do you want me to talk about the cards that I'm flipping or just anything else?
What would you like to talk about? Cards
Well,
works.
my name is Gerald, and thanks for coming to my shed. And don't forget, laughter is important. And hydrate,
It's essential.
hydrate.
Yes.
I think you know, the big thing that I have been noticing just in the last week or so, actually last couple of weeks, there's this need to release and to let things go.
Mm-hmm.
And letting go of things is challenging. It's necessary because there is excitement of, oh, I'm not holding on to this. I'm taking this with me onto something new.
Mm-hmm.
And that in that gap, that transition, there's a lot of excitement and possibility.
Mm-hmm.
And as a lot of people this time of the year, they think of resolutions. They're like me, they pick a word of the year. They do these things that are going to help them be true to who they are. I think the big thing is to start small but huge. Dream big, but
Yeah.
take that one single step.
Yeah, I agree. Because if we don't dream big, we don't have that possibilities in our
Yes.
mind. And to start to take action, it's about one step at a time, right? Taking one step at a time to start going.
There's a whole bunch of rotating and shifting in what I'm seeing. Everything is just, it's like, okay. So are you going to hold on to the stuff you want to carry with you? Or are you going to hold on to the stuff that is weighing you down, that makes it hard for you to lift up to your most authentic and energetic self?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, I should remember that.
I could go back and watch the recording, Gerald.
Yeah, I'm like, wow, okay.
Timestamp.
If something was good that just came out, I could tell that.
I think we're all doing our bit of channeling today.
There you go.
Jeff, did you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, I think just to add in terms of, you know, letting go, it's letting go of everything too. It's not just letting go to be free, but there are times when you need to do a clearing, because you may not realize it, that sometimes there are attachments into you that you didn't give permission for that are still there, and to energetically detach and to allow yourself to feel protected from that unwanted energy coming back. You want to break it and break it completely with intention and purpose, and to allow yourself, once you're free, to flow Ground if you need to, but don't bound yourself, because one of those magical moments is to know you're unbounded. Anything becomes possible when you believe. And so allow yourself to believe. That will give you a power which you may not have felt for a long time, but when you're there, you are unstoppable. And to just allow yourself to do that and to be in and co-create the light around you will give you this feeling. And I'm telling you that the world right now is as heavy as it may feel. Last year I feel lighter now, and I feel there's just some great opportunities for everyone to benefit from it. But it comes from believing. It's letting go, not forgetting necessarily, but letting go, not dwelling in the past, not looking back, but looking forward, but being grounded in that moment. Because when you are in your moment, you will flow and create magic and co-create magic with others.
Yeah, I think you brought up a few big themes, I think, Jeff, in there. The co-creation, which, I've been saying this has been a bit of a theme for a few years. The be in community, right?
Yeah.
Support each other. And, that's really what we try to do as a group here. I think all of us
Well,
do that.
the challenge is a lot of people think they're islands. People think that I must do this alone. But in reality is, while I do respect the need for people to shine, to be seen, to be felt, to the extent that we can co-create and find ways to work together, even if people have dissenting opinions, there's something in between, the commonality that allows our universes to not collide, but work together will create a change which is felt by everyone. And I think that's part of our challenge, is to find the commonality so that we can co-create and make fun. And the thing is, when you're having fun, not only is it magical, it feels so freaking good. And it's like, and what's wrong with feeling good? What's wrong with being at a state that you feel elated and say, I am happy. I love this. It's so I am in favor of that.
Yes.
I want to say I'm so glad I'm so glad that you said that. I think when I experience a curiosity and finding out how I am alike other people, what similarities do we have? Then we build on those things and we augment them. It's really powerful. Instead of going, we don't agree. Well, let's find what, agreement and how we're alike, how we're similar.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of like choosing love over fear too, right?
Yes.
When we're doing that, because we're choosing to find the love in whatever that situation is versus finding the fear and tapping into that. I think that's a big message for this year.
I also think allowing yourself to love is a big message too. To the fact that some people are afraid to say I love you. I learned not to be afraid to say I love you. I could say I love you to all of you, because being present, being in that moment is magical. And if that's not what love is, I don't know what love is. So for me, I spent most of too many years not, reserving I love you. And then you lose someone from your life, and it's like, well, then it's too late in the present. They may hear you spiritually, but not physically. But why not, say what you feel and mean it and own it? And that's powerful too. And so when you can activate love and bring that forward and have fun with it and empower it, it allows us to do all these great things. Yes, and I agree. We are powerful creators. In fact, we're bigger than that.
Yeah.
Active love. Thank you, Gerald.
Yes.
Thank you, Jeff.
Yeah, it's interesting. I just put a post up from Rumi and talked about the whole idea of acting from fear versus acting from love. And it's such an important piece, because, we get so caught up in thinking that we know. Right? Thinking that we know what's, right for us or right for others or right, period. Right. And I talked about the Tao and how, and I know I've talked about it on the show before too, about, in the Tao, it says to, not knowing is true knowledge. Right. to think that we know is a disease. And so, to be able to step back and not operate from a place of fear, where we know that something horrible is going to happen, or we know that this is going to be wrong, or that's going to be wrong, but to really step into a place of love, where we're open and we're curious and we're willing to allow things to just unfold, right? And to hold that space is so much more powerful.
Absolutely. Well, and this has been happening for a year. We've talked about this a few times on the show about how, people are tapping into all the fear in the collective, and it's really bringing everybody's vibration down, right? And then people get all in fear and they act out, and it's not so good, right? People are angry in the grocery store and they're doing all this stuff. Well, you don't know what's going on with that person in front of you in the grocery store. So let's show compassion and love.
Yeah.
Because that is where the fun is. That is where the magic is, when we love each other. So I know I've posted a few times a little meme that says, tell all your friends you love them, make it weird.
Yes.
I love that
Well,
one.
and for somebody who has not experienced love recently or doesn't know what that's like, that can be really scary.
Mhm.
And I want to recognize that.
Yeah.
Also, expect it. Start allowing it to show up and go, oh, maybe that's what it is. Great. Explore that. Draw more of that to you.
Yeah. Well, and it's so interesting too, like even just in light of the transit right now and this idea of the shadow of greed, right? Because it's for greed for love and money, right? This is the kind of component that's happening. And it's this lack. And sometimes we're in a fear that we're going to lack. And sometimes we're in a place where we're afraid of accepting and opening to, right? And yet we need each other. We need to connect. We need to be able to feel that and to feel that love from one another. And the more fear we bring to the table, the more we block that from ourselves and from others.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fear is like a wall, right? That we put up between us and possibility.
Mm-hmm.
Well, fear plus worry, So I would, the first step for me is to help people let go of worry, because worry is a complete waste of time. Because in the present moment, right, there are some things you cannot control. So when you let go of what you cannot control and accept that there are things you can control, and understand that bound yourself by what you can, you let go of what you cannot, then worry goes away. When worry goes away, again, another notch up in the power belt, because now you're even more powerful. And as far as love goes, I mean, it takes sometimes a lifetime to appreciate that the friends around you are people that love you, that they may not even be able to say I love you, because they have their own inner triggers about love. But frankly, if you're spending time with someone, you love them at some level. Right? I mean, it's easy to say, you hear a new music, you go to a movie, I love that movie. But you go to the movie with a friend you've been friends with for years, but you never told that friend I love you. Yet that movie you loved in a minute, right? A song 3 minutes later, I love that song. So why can't you tell that person that's around you I love them? I mean, we have a hang up about that, and yet at the same time, it's that love that takes you through those moments. It's that love that gives you the collective energy to get through hardship, right? And so I love to love, right? It's not like I'm commoditizing love. I mean it. That if I love something, I love something. Don't be afraid to love.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, one of the most important loves is to love yourself.
Yeah.
So to give yourself pampering, to love and take care of you, to do the things that no one else will ever do for you, and not be ashamed of it, but to embrace it. Because frankly, love of self, because you need to love yourself in order to give love to others at all levels. So it's just, don't be afraid of self-love.
Absolutely. I think it's sorry. Yes, please go on the soapbox.
Gerald has the soapbox. Hold on.
Okay. Jeff, what you said is so very important. Mm-hmm. You do have to love yourself. But others can love you without you loving yourself, because You are lovable just exactly the way you are.
Yes.
Do not remove someone's power and their authentic expression because you can't let it in.
Well said. Yes.
No.
Yes.
That's where the healing starts, right?
Yeah.
Is someone can love you, and then you start to realize, oh,
Well,
they can love me. Why?
Very
Maybe I
love
could
that.
love me.
See?
Maybe I could love me.
Yes.
Yes.
For sure.
Well,
Yeah.
and we put so many conditions on loving ourselves that we would never put on somebody else that we love,
Right.
Mhm.
right? And so, even being able to feel worthy of love is something that I, work with clients about all of the time, is, can I allow myself to experience love? Can I allow myself to have somebody hold that space for me? Right? And can I sit in my own discomfort because of my own self-judgments and allow this to actually be a lived experience?
And being able to say, this is uncomfortable, I've not had this before, is part of accepting that, because you're recognizing that that's what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And that's part of the healing process, right?
Yeah.
Because the healing. Oh, he froze for a second. That never happens to you, Gerald.
Oh, yeah, we saw him
froze.
fine.
You did?
I saw him good.
Oh, okay. Maybe it was me that froze.
Okay.
For a second.
I'll pull back the energy a little bit.
Yeah, because you're like,
Not gonna happen.
we don't want that, Gerald. We love your energy. It's
The
all
other
good.
thing that's coming up too is, and I've talked about this experience before, but we sometimes hold expectation that things have to show up a certain way in order to receive it, or in order to understand it or accept it. And this is, again, that place where being able to be open and curious can be really, really powerful, because now we can experience love in a multitude of ways. It doesn't have to be this one exact way that I feel loved, right? But we can embody what it is to be loved, right? What it is to be. And when I say that, I don't mean like somebody loving me. I mean what it is to actually be the essence of what loved is, right? And being able to hold space for that. But it can only happen if we can get rid of the perceived notions of what we think that's supposed to be.
Yes.
Yes.
Is that worry that we need to release? I've got to worry about how somebody's if they're gonna love me differently or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or
Because
if
there's different love
will I not be
styles.
loved? Or do I have to continue to do this in order to be loved? Or do I have to show up like that in order to be loved? Or, right? Or I'm only loved if somebody does such and such for me, right? There's so many parameters that we put around it that we limit our own ability to experience it.
Yeah. And that's those walls.
Mm-hmm.
Take down those walls.
Yeah.
Try to limit the universal power. Go ahead, try. See how that
Gerald, you need like a battering ram or a big old hammer in your collection of the fan works. Okay.
for this.
Oh,
Ooh.
Make
Spread
the
your
fact-
magic, honey. Spread your magic.
Yes, there you go. I am the props
Right.
guy.
But yeah, knock down the walls,
Mm-hmm.
right?
So it's interesting because I picked these. I've been holding these for a while. I picked them early on in the show, and we've touched on almost all of them.
Really? Of course we have.
Love it.
How it goes.
Love it. Love it.
Surprise!
Not surprised.
I'll read them, and you guys can see what I mean. So we've got healing the past,
Oh,
right? So
Yeah.
it's time to look at those past beliefs that we have around love, etc.
Mhm.
Step into the future with strength and clarity.
yes.
And that's really very much about what we want to step in. Strength is a big word this year, holding your strength and standing in your power. Trust in divine purpose. This experience has divine meaning. Healing will come. Know that you are on a path of growth. This is definitely a collective theme. See all that light coming down on her face?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's like Jen.
Downloads. Downloads.
Yeah,
It's like Jen. Jen. And then we have pray from the heart. Prayer can really move mountains. Reach out to the divine with your heart's concerns and watch miracles unfold.
Ooh, wow.
Oh, I like that.
He's got the halo just like Jen.
Halo,
Are you
yeah.
feeling seen, Jen? We see you.
I mean, you guys.
Celestial light. There you go.
There we go. And then we've got deeper insights are at hand. So your overall plan is good, but the details need work. Reflect before moving forward. So for me, this is just about plan. And that's where we're at, right? This is like vision board. Let's work on the vision board. Have you done your vision board yet this year? You are protected. You're safe within my bubble of light. You can proceed with confidence. These are Michael cards. So Archangel Michael's bubble of light. We are protected.
Yeah.
Step into the spotlight. You have a message the world needs to hear. It's time to share your wisdom. So this one here is about stepping into your power, your personal power, and also downloads. Look at all that light coming in.
I've
We're
seen that
accepted-
card recently.
Have you?
Yes, I have.
Your vibration is rising. This is a time of great spiritual growth for you. You're evolving to occupy a higher energetic frequency. So this has come up in a bunch of readings from a lot of readers about the solar flares coming in, all of that coming down as downloads of galactic codes and info and light and all of that stuff. So it's really shifting us. And then look at this one. See,
Opening to
I told
love.
you.
Oh, come on. Of course.
Opening to love. Fan those flames of passion. That's what that's about. Do what you love. Tell people you love them.
No surprise there.
Is
Wow.
open.
All about the love.
All about the love.
All you need is love, love, love. Yes. Cherish yourself. Oh my goodness. Wow.
And I believe we just spoke about this as well.
Yes.
Cherishing self.
Wow.
Buy yourself the flowers, right?
Yeah.
And it says, I accept and love myself. And the last one is take action,
Ooh.
which you mentioned earlier, Jeff. Just take those little steps. So I think Gerald mentioned it too, talking about taking the little steps, right? Decide where you're going and take those little steps. I enthusiastically embrace life's boundless possibilities.
Yes.
Love
So
it. That's awesome. Medium Betsy Palmer made a comment. Yeah, there you go. Really about, bringing it into the third dimension. And I think that this is where, the comments that were made about the love of self is really important. When we're on a spiritual journey, I think that often we want to negate the 3D, right? And yet we chose to come here to have a 3D experience. We chose to come here to be in this place, to be in this body, to have this experience for whatever reason, whatever it is that is part of our journey, whatever it is that we're meant to learn. And so, we talk about this kind of transcending. And I think that we often think that that means that we're supposed to somehow transcend this body or leave this body. But really, it's about the beliefs and the narratives and the things that limit us in this mind. It's not about not being in it and not having its experience, right? And so when we talk about love, it's about all of the different forms of love. And it's interesting. So in human design, we talk about incarnation crosses, right? And my cross is the vessel of love. And so I have all 4 of the gates that talk about universal love and the love of self and the love of the body and the love of humanity, right? And it's really about coming to that place of saying, I can be all that I am, and I can be all that I am all at once, right? And I can take that love and it can be transcendent, but it can also be very concrete in the here and now, right? And I don't have to love all of the horrible things that are happening, but I can love all of the things that bring me joy, and I can love all of the things that challenge me, and I can love everything that comes into my experience because it's meant for me on some level, to move me along in this journey that I signed up for.
And some days you're like, I signed up for this.
I got to check the contract is what I
Yeah.
got to say.
Well, you're the librarian, so go take a look.
You realize, thanks. I'll be back. I'm
Yeah.
excuse me while I ruffle through, shuffle through some pages.
You can do it later, honey. It's okay.
Yeah.
Or now, if they want you to do it now.
I'll keep them at bay.
Okay.
I keep asking for a refund, still waiting.
Under review is what I'm seeing. Yeah.
Wow.
Really, all of this is happening for us. That's what we have to remember, right? Contract or no contract, that is why we're here. And we experience emotion in the body.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
And that's because we're physical. So if we weren't physical, then we wouldn't experience it in the way we do.
No. And the body has so much wisdom to offer if we're willing to allow it to speak, if we can get the mind out of the way long enough to be able to really connect and hear it.
Yep.
So do you think, let me ask you this, and feel free to refuse to answer, and I'll just stare at you.
Well, that ought to be an interesting show.
Is a lot of people, there's a lot of talk about downloads, energetic shifts, awareness of more than just what's in around us.
Mhm.
Is that what's causing the discomfort right now? Because there's a lot of discomfort going on in the world, and things are, the pendulum is swinging and all sorts of stuff like that, and it's like, this is, this ride seems to be going faster than it should be, but it's not. I realize it's going as fast as it should be. I think my point is are all these shifts part of all of those downloads? And the more people who accept that and lean into them, the easier it will be and the faster we'll transition?
Yes. Is the easy answer.
Wow.
It's a little more complicated than that. But
I would
yes.
say it depends.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there are a lot of different core dependencies, and so there's no real easy answer to it. So yes is much easier than it depends.
Yeah. Well, it depends sparks the conversation. So
Well, and that's the piece, right? Is not everybody wants the downloads. Not everybody is open to something more or something different. And that causes a huge, when we talk about cognitive dissonance and stuff like that, it can cause a lot of problems for people.
Well, there is as much as there's a digital divide, there's a spiritual divide, and there's there's also distance in energy sources and stuff, where some folks here may be from galaxies so far away that you don't know how far away they are, that your light driven you is from, I don't know, a billion light years away. And so in that world, it's different than maybe the planetary world here. And so those of origin from Earth will have a different experience than those from a billion light years away. And that's just part of that reality. But if someone doesn't want to understand where the light's from, then that creates a whole other dissonance. I mean, it gets metaphysical real fast, but let's just say that there is a quantum mechanics associated with this, which makes it more complicated to answer the question directly. But depending upon where the energy source is from and where the receiver is from, some things are understood completely and totally, and some are not as understood. But I do respect free will. And I'm not someone to push my will upon someone else. And I respect people's opinion and allow them to be how they want to be. And as much as I am open to love and receiving, I'm also not pushy. That I can sit here and talk about the need for us to embrace self-love, but to enforce it is upon each other to do themselves. It's not like there's going to be an enforcer saying, well, you didn't have enough self-love this year, therefore you're not worthy. But it's more like when you learn to love yourself, it opens up a whole gate of opportunities to even see better, to feel better.
Yeah.
And then if you are tuning in to the to the various activities in the solar system, that brings up a whole other light. And what I was referring to at the start of the program is that as we go into this new fiscal year, this new calendar year, the shifts are very apparent. Even if you're numb to many things, this is not so. Feels so good, and it's a place that, while it may be transitory, it feels so good to be in that space. And it is. I feel it. I mean, I might be hypersensitive to certain things, but I feel a much different place than just a few weeks ago. And I have a belief that while we may always agree to disagree, and the world, and chaotic as it is, will continue, there are opportunities for magic to happen individually, collectively. And that the more open we are to that, the more positivity we could bring into this world. And that if we embrace the light, if we embrace the light of love, comes with it empowerment to make wishes and to manifest. And we can collectively help make those dreams happen for ourselves and for others.
Beautiful.
It's just a matter of doing it.
Yeah.
Would you like to describe what you just showed us there, Gerald, please?
Oh, I was just showing a glimmer globe, the idea of capturing those things that those moments when we feel in alignment. And when we capture those, we actually, we tell the universe, I want more of these. I recognize this. What we place our attention on. Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, I had to put it.
But it's that idea is that where we focus our energy, we get more of. And Jeff, I'm going to be going down the quantum physics rabbit hole, but I wrote it down as quantum psychics.
Yeah.
So if you check out, I did an interview with Adam Apollo in December on our show Bridge to the Galaxy with the Alliance for Extraterrestrial Diplomatic Contact. And he went into this whole explanation about quantum entanglement.
Oh, entanglement is a whole other conversation. Oh my God.
It is. It is. It was amazing. But it's kind of about the psychic, the quantum psychic thing, because it's knowing what's happening in the collective and that sort of thing. So it was fascinating.
Yeah.
Of course,
It's amazing how connected we really are, and we don't realize that we are, right? And quantum entanglement is a perfect example of that.
Yeah.
Right. And how connected we are, to answer Gerald's question a bit more, right? That is a rabbit hole to go down, because it really does talk about, our ability to feel more than we realize we're feeling. Right. And to be able to come to terms with all of the different things that are constantly impacting us. Right. We can just think of somebody and feel their energy if their energy has crossed our energy at some point in time. Right. Whether it's here on the show with all of you.
It is all true.
Across in life. And so, we have this ability to tap into so much that we're not consciously aware of. Right. And this is where things like collective consciousness and stuff like that can be so powerful, because we end up tapping into and feeling all of these things that we don't even realize are impacting us.
And then when you realize you can do that, and you experience what happens when you do that, then some of those experiences don't have words to attach, but they're memories to hold on to. And it's, what appears to be crazy to one is accepted by others. And so don't judge, embrace, and love.
Yeah. Judgment and expectation create so much stuff.
Yeah.
And by the way, Gerald, I also write down the phrase quantum manifestations, which we could talk about later. I spent part of 2023 focusing on quantum manifestations, and I'd like to say I believe I got pretty good at it, at least recognized it anyway. And it is when we allow ourselves to be unbounded in our wishes and allow ourselves to experience what it feels like to receive what we ask for under no conditions, that not only are we worthy to receive, we will receive it, and you feel what it felt like to get what you asked for.
Mm-hmm.
You're there. And
I'm hearing a class coming, Jeff.
I'm sorry?
I'm hearing a class coming.
A class. Oh,
Do we perhaps have a workshop coming?
Perhaps a workshop. Yeah. Perhaps maybe north of Ottawa somewhere. I don't know. We'll see.
Ooh. Maybe as a retreat.
Perhaps.
Stay tuned, everybody. Make sure you like and subscribe so you can be in the know.
Ooh, yes.
Absolutely.
I'm
just going to take care of some stuff here.
Yeah.
Pogo. Shifty eyes.
Whoa.
I love that. Oh my gosh.
We're planning.
Watch out.
Collaboration thing we just talked about? Yeah.
Yes, hopefully in the summer.
Hopefully in the summer, at least not in the winter.
Yeah.
Not winter in Canada, don't worry.
No.
Takes time to plan these things anyways, folks.
Yeah. Although wintertime, next year we could be in a warm place in the winter.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That'll be warm, yes. And
yes. That'd be hot.
It'd be real hot.
Wow. My goodness. Well, isn't this interesting? Because the idea of the quantum stuff, I mean, what little I know about quantum mechanics and quantum physics comes from the documentary, What the Bleep Do We Know?
Yeah.
I mean,
that's a good one. Yep.
It's a very good one because I watched it and I went, well, that makes sense. I don't understand it, but it makes sense. And then I went, I don't need to understand it at this point. But now I'm going to actually be going back into it and going, what exactly does that mean?
Gerald, from I might have lifted the words quantum physics away from the physicists, but I'll tell you this, one of my I just remembered all this. So, when people start businesses these days, their investors hold them to certain measurements, certain returns. People are challenged on how they're performing, but the reality is, for the last hundreds of years, before some of these AI sources and analytics came into play, great businesses were started, and businesses were run by people's intuition, people's guts, people's feelings, right? And if you think about it, if we're able to drive successful companies simply by our gut, by our instincts that gave us reason to start those companies, why do we not encourage entrepreneurs to continue driving that way? Why, before a board meeting, do we have to justify our actions by looking at the numbers when it was our own gut and intuition that got us to start the companies to begin with? And so I have a whole philosophy about driving your success and driving your company by intuitiveness, by doing intuitive entrepreneurship, and by driving the company forward. Sure, be aware of reality, but listen to yourself, listen to that gut, and allow the quantum mechanics and quantum physics to help drive your success, as opposed to, gee, I got an idea, I raised money, now I have to give up all my belief systems and go to another realm to be measured on. Bullshit. I say, allow the spirits to guide and show us success, and we'll find an alignment much greater than anyone ever could imagine, as opposed to having to just justify numbers because some accountant says there, or some finance officer says we have to make certain numbers happen. And I think that when you look to quantum physics, there's some things we could learn and take from the physicists, and you look into the spiritual realm, the terms will be used, purposely repurposed, and what we could find is a better understanding of what's hard to explain, at least with metaphors, can be explained.
Yeah.
Well said.
Whoa. Whoa, magic.
He is magic.
Come on. That's really amazing. I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
So I get the understanding of the need to do some of that, because we have to do checks and balances on ourselves sometimes
Sure.
to make sure, but so long as the checks and balances don't remove our excitement and our intuition and our love and passion about our projects.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because that's where we're supposed to follow, is the passion and the love and the excitement.
Yeah.
What makes you, I know, I've listened to Bashar talk a few times, and he talks about that being really the formula for success. Find what excites you in the moment and do that.
Yeah.
Literally.
And then do that again.
And again.
And again. And again. And again.
And repeat.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, and that's the thing too, right? We live in a world where there are so many shoulds, and everybody puts all of these kind of parameters on things. And yet, if we actually listened to our own strategies and authorities, to use human design terms, we could actually be in a place that really is in flow for us, right? And it is about connecting with our inner knowing, not that comes from here, right? But that comes from here, and that comes from our gut. And that really, allows us to hold space for a deeper connection to what is really part of our path, not all of the conditioned thinking and not self kind of, themes that we end up experiencing in our day to day.
And science will show that your second brain is your gut.
Mm-hmm. Well, we get our signals there first.
Should be our first brain.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah. I didn't define the terminology of a physiology yet. So, yeah.
But the brain gut axis, right?
But it's really, but it's even more than that, because when you look at collective, there's knowledge to be shared, information to be understood. But how you process it is really up to you, and that's affected by many other experiences. And that's why the whole co-creation and co-experiences matter. The reason why, while people do go on individual journeys and may go be silent for 30 days in meditation, some of the best meditations I've ever had are conversations with other people. Because when we're speaking with each other, everything else fades to black. And what I have is a meaningful conversation with one or many, but in such a way that it's very meditative and very focused and very powerful. So for me, to meditate is not just to be by oneself, but to be in a connected conversation where we hear and share and experience each other in a very meaningful, deep way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you're actually
a beautiful experience here.
Exactly.
Yes. Yes.
Come on, everybody. This has been great. I mean, it's like, holy crap. I mean, it's like,
this is magic.
This is magic.
It is magic.
It's magic. And I think that magic works because the four of us are on screen together, and all of the people who are watching and watching back need to hear this conversation.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and even the conversation that's being shared, right? Like we're all holding space for one another, and we're all connecting, and that's a beautiful, beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's what we need to focus on as humans.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Authentic connection, which, Jeff, you do that very well with your Zula.
Thank you.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about that for a sec?
Sure. Since before the pandemic, but I'll call it since the pandemic, I created a new community online where people from all over the world join us. And for the newbies who join us, I ask 3 questions: their name, where they're from. I never ask anyone what star system they're from, but from where they're from, and something they're passionate about outside the work they may do. And hosting this since May of 2020 has provided an opportunity for people from many different walks of life and many different places on this planet to get together for an hour or so from time to time to meet and to have conversations with people they just wouldn't normally connect to. And it's intentionally a safe space. We don't talk about earthly politics. We ask people to respect each other. that if a statement is made and you don't agree with it, that it's not debate club, that you have the space to share what you want to say. And if you choose to speak, then you could also speak. And in the last couple of years, I've turned it into a word game at times where I'll bring 2 or 3 words to the conversation. If we go into breakouts, I'll ask someone to think of the word manifestation, innovation, creation, and what do those words mean to you? And just to bring to light. And so I do that on Tuesdays. From an East Coast perspective, we have Tuesday evenings, which I call the Today Meets Tomorrow Zula, because invariably we usually have a friend from Australia who's living in the future, who I always ask, how is tomorrow looking? And then on Tuesday mornings, I have an East Coast Zula, which is mostly from the East Coast of the US into Europe and the Middle East. And it's just a wonderful group of people who we get together and we just co-experience life for that time. And it's fairly magical.
I've met wonderful people on Zula. So
Thank you.
It's definitely been a great experience.
Zula is an Aramaic word meaning a comfortable place to be.
Oh, awesome.
That's great.
Yeah.
So you don't realize for the past hour, this is my Zula with you.
Awesome. That's what we like to create here.
Yeah.
We like to be, give people a voice and have authentic conversations about whatever comes up.
Yeah.
And so normally, for those of you that are new to us, normally we pick a card and we have a topic that we discuss. we didn't do that today.
That's
No.
okay.
It is our first one of the year, and we were excited because we've got 2 special guests today. And one was a surprise, Jeff Pulver.
Even to me.
Even to him. Yep. We were having pre-show party, and
And I stayed for the ride. Yes.
we did.
Well, look, I'm grateful to all of you for co-creating this space and for doing the magic that you do and for being your authentic self, for being the true you. And I thank your listeners for tuning in and supporting this. But most importantly, I encourage you to continue being the magic of who you are. Because
Beautiful.
you guys are so beautiful.
Thank you, Maruda. That's Maruda. She's got a different name on there today, but
That's
So why doesn't this work? No love. No love.
we have to be on. It doesn't work for me either.
It's
We
an
have to be on a Mac. We're not on a Mac.
I'm on a
That's
Mac.
why.
It's a Mac.
That's a Mac problem.
So where do we find you, Jeff? We've got somebody
You
else.
can find me, let's see, pulver.com. You can find me. That's my it's my main website. On Instagram, if you like photographs of the Milky Way and sunrises and sunsets, I'm at Jeff Kenny Pulver, KENIPULVER on Instagram. You may be getting a morning or evening affirmation these days from me, but it's you can find me there, or I'm around. I'm not hard to find if you look.
You can always reach out to us as well on
Yes,
at Twillow Lifestyle. We can forward info.
Speak to my agents.
I'm your agent now, Jeff.
Even fit to work. Only teasing.
It's all good. It's all good.
Only teasing.
Gerald, I see you pulling cards over there.
Well, I was, but one thing that I pulled out from a new deck that someone sent me is the Dreamweaver's Oracle, Colette Baron Reed, and it's called If I Hear a Sasquatch Sigh, it's about when we feel separated from each other, and we were just talking about the opposite of that. We were removing that separation so that togetherness and unity and a shared experience could happen. And that's exactly what I mean. It's like I was like, why did I pick this card? And I glanced at the meaning. I'm like, oh yeah, let's remove that and fill it with something else.
Beautiful.
So, it's incredible.
Wow.
Noticing we're coming to the end, I remembered to pull. I don't always, and I got Quest for a New Vision.
Oh wow.
Oh, perfect.
Love that.
Perfect.
How much more beautiful, right? So I'll read that to you guys. It says, "You have forgotten that the sacred feminine wisdom of your ancestors lives within you. It is time to unravel the training that keeps you from connecting with this wisdom. Make time, grandchild. Disrupt your daily routine. Your steps are faltering because you are deaf to the whispers of your spirit. To hear your spirit, you must get quiet. Spend time seeking the inner world of the sacred feminine. It is time for a vision quest. A traditional vision quest is a 2 or 4 day fast on the land with nothing but you and the natural elements. No distractions, no weapons, no shelter. A vision quest brings you into contact with the natural world and teaches you what you need to know. Now, I am not advocating for those that are in like negative 20-degree temperature.
I was going to say, can we wait till summer for that?
Wait till summer.
But the spirit of what is being talked about is what is important. Remember this ancient wisdom. You are being called to the land to quest a new vision for your life. Any amount of time in nature will help you when you're properly attired. You must dream a new dream before the dream can become real. Listen, dream, for much beauty lies on the horizon.
Wow.
Yeah. So that speaks to like, doing the hibernation and sort of going within at this time. Right?
And it's so beautiful with the energy that we're in right now, the transit that we're in, that going inside to really meet our needs and to figure out what that looks like. Such a perfect time for that.
Yes.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, Gerald has something else.
Well, I was just thinking back to something that Jeff said. That would be Jeff Pulver. About if we release worry, if I were to release the worry about if I think about what I need and release the worry on whether or not it's going to be met, and I just know what is it that I need right now, there's a whole lot of power in that authenticity.
Yes.
This is what I need.
Powerful.
And we have needs at different levels. So asking yourself, what does my body need? What do my emotions need? And what does my energy or my spiritual self need?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And then we try to fill it for ourselves. That's self-care, folks.
Yep.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it has been an amazing show.
Mm-hmm.
I am so honored to have you both. And
Thank you for
Jen.
holding our time, because when we're around you, time stops for me.
Yeah.
We're a couple of minutes over, but I think we're good.
Mm-hmm.
This conversation could go on for
Yeah.
I think it probably will go on.
Perhaps
Like a whole retreat. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I believe a retreat is definitely will happen.
Yeah. Yeah. It's in the cards.
Yes. You said that.
So we want to thank everyone for coming. I'm sorry we didn't get a chance to touch base with you all, because there's just so many beautiful souls on the show today and in our audience. And we're so thrilled that you were all here to join us. We felt your energy and your love. And we are just super excited. And we're wishing you all such a wonderful new year. Final words?
There it is.
Retreat.
It is in the cards.
See?
How does
There
that happen?
it is.
Love that. Wow. Yes.
There it is.
Let's maybe give them each one word to send them off to the new year. Gerald?
Hydrate.
I like it.
Good one. Jeff?
Love.
Love.
See, I was going to say loved. So let's see. Connect.
Mm-hmm. And I would say community.
Yes.
And so with that, we wish you all. Oh, yes.
I did say that I would do the upcoming transit since we're switching midweek. Do you guys want that?
I think they probably will if we're doing midweek. Go right ahead.
Yeah, well, we switched
if we can make it
Thursday on. So I'll just go really quick.
Yeah.
So we're going into 61. So I'll just show that to you guys right there. 61 is going to be from the 11th to the 16th. So we'll touch base on it again on Monday, but we'll be coming to the end of it. It's psychosis to inspiration to sanctity. Now, this is the thing to be mindful of, right? Come Thursday, we're going to be having that pressure to know right? It's the victim of the obsessive mind. So just pay attention to what's coming up for you. Is there a lot of pressure to answer questions? Is there a lot of grasping for answers? And how can you embrace the gift of this energy, which is all about allowing the answers to come, right? And not trying to force anything, but really opening what we've talked about, right? Like
Yeah.
we've really kind of talked about it this show. And holding space for that. And the Siddhi for this is divine mind, right? To be able to respect and honor the unknown, going back to the Tao, like we talked about right at the beginning, the Tao Te Ching, right? This idea of not knowing being true knowledge, really being able to sit in that space and allow whatever needs to come to you. And how perfect quest for a new vision. It's about holding space. It's about opening to it, not trying to make it happen, but just saying, I'm here, I'm ready. What do you have for me? And allowing it to come.
Beautiful.
Wow.
Thank you so much. And I thank you all for joining us on Twillow Talk. And we're wishing you all so much love. And we do this every Monday at 5 p.m. So come on back. We'll see you soon. Thanks, everyone.